أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Is Islamic paradise sexualized? This is a myth that is peddled by the modern secular discourse and especially Christian polemics. So today, I'm just laying out what Islam says without apologizing or watering it down while examining where these people come from, and you'll see why this myth falls flat on its face.
The last day in Islam means if you pass the test, you will enter Jannah, you'll enter paradise. You have maidens of pleasure, hur al-ain.
This is the first fabrication right here. I don't know where he pulled that from. Hurul Ain does not mean maidens of pleasure. Linguistically, Hurul Ain refers to beings with striking, beautiful eyes. That's it. There is no hidden erotic meaning in Arabic.
When I say Quran says you will have sex with them.
So let's see what the Quran actually says. The Quran is talking about marriage here. So this shows you what marriage means for them. Marriage is how we form families, and it is supposed to be the best form of companionship. When you reduce it to that one thing, it reflects your mind where you come from.
But that's the last day. Oh, you brought it up, huh? See, full-breasted.
Companions of equal age.
Yeah, so that means you don't need breast implants in paradise. It's
You're good to
free
go.
of charge, yeah.
Perfect.
It's impressive.
So the same people that hold modeling and beauty competitions in every state and country and then select a so-called Miss Universe are complaining why women in paradise will be beautiful and voluptuous? Now that's interesting. Just look at the cover of pretty much any magazine and what do you see? Note that the Quran gives a lot of detail of paradise. It is a different creation where everything will be much better than this world. The fruits will taste much better. The landscape and scenery will be extremely exotic. The houses will be exquisite beyond imagination. The weather will be pleasant. Men will be handsome and women will be beautiful, and they will have this otherworldly jewelry. There will be lush green gardens with the rivers flowing, etc. Somehow, they get stuck on one sentence which says women will be voluptuous and a couple of other verses which say they will be virgins. Alright, so everything else in paradise will be perfect, but you want women to look flat and unattractive? Meaning you want them to have the same insecurities about their bodies in paradise that they have here on this earth. I wonder why the idea of flawless female beauty makes you feel uncomfortable. But anyway, the women of paradise will be extremely gorgeous such that entire industries built on exploiting female insecurities won't exist there. No endless makeup lines, no cosmetic surgery pipelines, no marketing campaigns telling women they are never enough. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but in paradise, women will have flawless bodies and no woman will ever feel inadequate, body shamed, or pressured to fix herself, whether you like it or not. The next problem they have is with the virgins and marital relationships in paradise. And again, it comes from the same people who spend their whole youth hunting for one-night stands, who go to clubs and bars hoping maybe they will get quotes in quotes lucky and find a drunk woman even if she is somebody else's wife. These same people that broadcast what's supposed to be the most private and intimate encounter between a man and a woman to the whole world and call it entertainment. And there's a so-called gentleman's club every other block of their city. All that is legal and allowed in their society on this earth, but marriage in paradise is supposed to be immoral? That's also interesting. So let's see, did God not already create virgins on this earth? In fact, every single human being, man or woman, and even animals are born virgins and stay virgins until they don't. God creates trillions of virgins on this earth, and I would think Christians would have a much better respect for virginity because Mary, the mother of Jesus, is honored precisely for her virginity. But somehow, the mention of virgins in paradise brings a sneaky grin on their faces and their lights start flashing. I wonder why. Now let's talk about marital relations. God also created handsome men and God got them married to the beautiful virgins on this planet Earth and blessed their union. For example, Sarah, the wife of Prophet Abraham, was extremely beautiful, and her great-grandson Joseph was very handsome. God has no problem with beauty or marriage. Why does it sound so scandalous to you guys? Isn't this how we form our families and nations? Islam teaches that God will marry beautiful virgins with handsome men in paradise the same way, and God will bless their union and make it a perfect union. They will get to enjoy peaceful family life in the heavenly society of righteous and angels forever. In that marriage, there will be no yelling and screaming, no disrespect, abuse, gaslighting, anxiety, drama, and absolutely no divorce lawyers. This is where the concept of soulmate will become full reality. There will be pure love and respect without any earthly strings attached. What's the big deal? So, sorry guys, human marriage and family life is God's design, and God's design is the best design. We Muslims did not come up with that. We just submit to God's will, and if there was something wrong with it, God would choose a different design, and God would not make all animals, including humans, do the same act for procreation that you guys despise so much while simultaneously doing it so much. So if you have a problem with beauty, virginity, or marriage, that's your problem. And perhaps you should reflect and examine where that discomfort really comes from.
That's right. This young lady is asking, you know who she's asking,
Yeah,
obviously.
Zechariah,
Zechariah, that's right.
That's the one who defeated William Campbell.
That's right. So she's asking him, hey, if men go to heaven, they get 72 virgins, what do women get?
Good
and
question.
this is his answer. It's a very good question.
That the woman will get that which your heart hasn't desired, what your eyes hasn't seen, what your ear hasn't heard about. That means, inshallah, you'll get something equal.
Does that mean she's going to get 70 men? He never said yes. Did you catch that? Because he can't say that. That would be a lie from the pit of hell. So he's an excellent politician. He knows how to get around it. Because if you pay attention, he never said women will get multiple men. He can't say that. So, but you're going to get delights that are mind-blowing. Okay, I understand that. Does that include that the woman gets multiple men? Oh, but you're going to get what the eye has never seen or the mind has comprehended. Okay, but does that mean I'm going to get more than one husband?
This is hilarious. They're complaining that there are some narrations that say men will have 72 wives, but why does it not say the woman will have 72 husbands? This is a trap. You know, if narrations had said there would be 70 men for every woman, these same people would be saying, what kind of paradise is this? That a woman gets there and 70 men are already in the line? What do Muslims think women are? So there is great wisdom in not saying much on what women will receive in the paradise because it's a sensitive topic and it can be easily twisted. The best answer is that women will get what they desire and much more than that, to the point where they will say, "Oh Lord, I'm happy and satisfied," and God will give them even more, as God promises in these verses in the Quran. Now here sisters sometimes have a genuine question and they say, if there is polygamy in paradise, will I see my husband with all these women forever? The answer is absolutely not. God has promised that in paradise you will get what you want, and one way of achieving that can be creating alternative versions of reality for people who have conflicting desires. For example, someone might tell you that last night he robbed a bank in his dream, but you cannot call the cops and report him because he did that in his own reality when he was sleeping, and it does not overlap with your reality. Imam al-Ghazali explains in his book Ahya in detail why we cannot see the dead people being punished or rewarded, because it happens in a different realm of existence. So the same way, in paradise, your husband will be in your complete, total control, even more so than in this world. And if he wants to watch sports in the man cave with his buddies or have some other ideas which you are not okay with, his reality will probably branch off. He will be in an alternative reality and you will not have to deal with anything that you don't want to deal with. And this is easy for God. Or maybe God will have a better way which we cannot even think of. Remember, in paradise, there will be no sadness, deprivation, grief, fear, or anxiety. This is God's promise, and whose promise is truer than God's promise? Now notice that culturally and religiously, the modern Western society is way more polygamous than Muslims. They just have a double face about it and they're good at pretending and bluffing. I love it when they peddle this myth in our face. Oh, we are so monogamous and Islam allows 4 marriages. In reality, the majority of Muslims marry once in their life and that marriage lasts for life. There are extremely few, maybe 1% of Muslims who can marry more than one due to the heavy regulations and restrictions around polygamy. In contrast, In Western society, they change partners sometimes every night. You can marry one woman and have as many so called side chicks as long as you can hide it from your wife. If your wife finds out, the most she can do is divorce you after paying the divorce lawyer an arm and a leg. There is no law or limit against how many partners you can have on the side. The Western law not only allows it, but it also protects it. Hey, it's consenting adults, right? The only restriction it puts is you cannot formalize it and take full responsibility of it by registering it as a full-fledged marriage. As long as you can hide it from your wife, it is fully legal and allowed. There are even websites like this that help married couples cheat and they're fully legal. But they do love to lecture Muslims that polygamy is morally wrong. Whereas in Islamic societies, there are dire consequences for having physical relationship outside of marriage. Muslim women in Islamic societies don't have to worry as much about their husbands cheating because there is strict separation between genders and it is not easy to approach other women. And this type of websites would be shut down immediately, resulting in arrests with criminal charges. Even biblically, this hypocritical squander makes no sense. Almost all of their prophets were polygamous. King David had dozens of wives. Solomon had hundreds. Nowhere in the Bible did God condemn them for it.
If I'm a logical guy and I'm truly looking for a religion and I'm open-minded,
Yes.
and I'm looking to the Christian church, I'm going, studying Judaism. Maybe I can go that direction. I'm studying Scientology, LDS. Oh, and I'm also becoming a Muslim, right? 72 virgins. How can I buy into that if I got anything but a B or higher in math in high school? Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So how does the math add up?
Okay, let's do some math here. In paradise, we will be living for eternity. So if you have 70 and you live 1 trillion years with each of them, that is 70 trillion years. Yet it is still a small portion of eternity. Are you sure you have a problem with it when your own marriages last maybe 5 to 10 years on average and you keep changing partners officially or unofficially throughout your life, which spans hardly 70 or 80 years? We know how your math works. Now, I will tell you the secret why they have such problems with physical intimacy in paradise. Intimacy is a human need just like food. It fulfills us and brings tranquility. It has health benefits and it is one of the ultimate expressions of love. It is a blessing and mercy from God, but only if you do it within marriage following God's guidelines. If you remove boundaries of marriage and approach it by disobeying God without restraints, it becomes a curse and a punishment. We are talking about promiscuity and infidelity resulting in broken families, insecure relationships, anxiety, trust issues, psychological trauma of breakups, stalkers, predators, single mothers, kids with unknown fathers, and worst of all, sometimes even newborn human babies abandoned in dumpsters for them to perish. It is this shame, guilt, and bad taste that they project on us Muslims when they talk about Islamic concept of paradise. When they hear there will be intimacy in paradise, they don't hear God's gift and mercy. They hear shame and guilt rooted in exploitation that is prevalent in their culture. Muslims don't carry that baggage because we approach it within the safety net and security of marriage while submitting to God. So our experience and perception is different. The funny thing is, they are trying so hard to export all these problems into Muslim societies in the guise of adopting freedom. So guys, it mildly amuses us when you try to embarrass us Muslims for what we will supposedly do in God's paradise after we are dead, while ignoring what's worse happening in your society right now. How are we supposed to take you seriously when, for example, you make Jeffrey Epstein's best friend your king despite all his known history, and many faithful among you even call him modern-day Messiah and Savior? Your powerful political and media elite are repeatedly exposed for rampant exploitation and corruption. They are stealing your livelihood and trafficking virgins to the private island of billionaires, and you're attacking Muslims, obsessing over what we will do after we are dead? Seriously? Somebody needs to get their priorities straight here. because this makes you look neither impressive nor convincing. If you want to lecture us about the morality you invented in the last 100 years, you have to have a leg to stand upon. Either you have to show us that your newly invented morality has some scriptural basis in God's revelation, which it doesn't, because we know it is not biblical. It is just the latest trend of modern day liberal secularism. Or you have to give us a proof of concept that your morality works with the example of your society. And we know that it doesn't. Otherwise, why is the so-called modern secular society so riddled with record rates of broken families, emotional trauma, pervasive loneliness, and mental health issues? And this is what you're trying to export to the Muslim societies? Oh yeah, we are so free and you guys are so subjugated and oppressed. But listen, we Muslims do not bend our religion for always changing man-made liberal trends, because our morality comes from our submission to the will of God. And when we follow it closely, it sets us free from the burdens of the corrupt man-made society. And that is the meaning of Islam. Find peace by worshiping and submitting to the one and only true God. I hope that helps. Please like, subscribe, and share to spread the message if you agree. Thank you so much.